Okay, ladies and germs, doing something different today. Making content. Don't have a script, but I do have what I would like to call a getting to know you video. Starting right now. Getting to know you. It's pretty much about questions. The basics, to begin with at least, are... Got a little loud there. So my name's Evan. I am 38, and I've been making content for about 5 years now. Maybe six by now. I live in Central Florida. I work at a cannabis dispensary. I have 2 children, a girl and a boy, and I am happily married. I think that's the basics. That's like the baseline. I am a streamer. I make YouTube videos. I play a lot of games. I'm also really bad at stuff like making graphics. While not necessarily like terrible, I make everything myself. So yeah, it's all me. I do the whole thing. I'm sure that most other streamers, do the exact same thing. You kind of got to do it all when you're back here. I do think that sometimes people believe that I'm unapproachable. Maybe I'm rude or blunt, maybe. Personally, I just like to think of it as trying to be as honest as possible. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or make anybody mad or anything like that, at least not on purpose. But if you ask my opinion, I usually give it, and I usually give it to you the way that I would like to hear it, which is generally with no sugarcoating. I'm going to jump into these questions here. Just keep in mind, like, I'm trying to let you get to know me, and then of course in the comments you can always Uno reverse it, and then you can answer some of these questions about yourself as well, and then I could get to know you, and that would be awesome for me. I have a list. We're gonna go through it. I mean, who knows? Like, they may all be horrible. They may all be they may be good questions. Who knows? We'll see where we get to. There are about 100 of them, but I won't go through all 100 of these questions. Maybe we'll get through quite a bit of them, but I am trying to make this a single cut video, so I don't have to a single take video. We're gonna cut that right there. A single take video. So I'm trying not to have so much downtime. We're going to start here. What was your first job? That's a good question. My first job was I worked at a retirement home. I was the wait staff at a retirement home. And then shortly after that, I worked at Chuck E. Cheese, where I did, in fact, sometimes put on the Chucky suit. Most times, though, I was cleaning and fixing games. Definitely was all within the same 3 or 4 years before I was actually like 18 and able to move out and got a full-time job. So that was my first jobs. On a scale of 1 to 10, how funny would you say you are? On a scale of 1 to 10, how funny would I say I am? I'm a solid 6, maybe a 7, give or take. Depends on the day. How many languages do you speak? If Pig Latin counts, 2. I do understand a little bit of Spanish, and I can sometimes articulate a full thought. Very badly, of course, but I can almost speak Spanish, but not enough to say where I actually do. So, what's the most interesting thing you can see out of your office window? I have the curtains on right now, but I can see right out of the window here. I can see the neighbor's house, which is not that interesting. But if I look a little bit like past the neighbor's house. We live kind of on a hill. This whole area that we live on, this whole neighborhood, as a matter of fact, is on a hill, and I can see all the way down to like, I don't know, maybe 3 miles away where the power plant is. So I can sometimes see the power plant. Sometimes at night, the lights are on. I can see it from there too. It's pretty neat. Who is the most intelligent person you know? Probably my wife. Super smart. Very, very smart person. Learns quickly, understands well, is able to teach what she learns, which is a pretty good sign of intelligence. Who knows you the best? That would also be my wife. She's my best friend. If you could join any past or current music group, which would you join? I'd love to play drums for the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. Would be fun. I'm not saying that I'm good enough to replace Ringo. Or the other guys, John Bonham? I don't know. Wouldn't be able to do like any actual like replacing of, but I'd love to like go join them a long time ago when they were just learning, and then I could be part of the learning curve and then be part of the band as I learn to get better. That would be great. If you had to describe yourself as an animal, which would it be? Probably a spider monkey. That's a good one. Is there anything you wished would come back into fashion? Fanny packs were pretty cool back in the day. Maybe fanny packs, because why not? Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Both. Depends on the situation and the circumstance. I'm probably more introverted than extroverted, but you know, online it's different than like in person. So it really depends on the situation, and you know, depends on the person. Which of the 5 senses would you say is your strongest? Let's see, touch, taste, smell, see. Wait, touch is feel. 5 senses. So I normally would say my hearing. However, recently I've learned that like this one on the left is not as good as this one on the right. It's like a reduction of about 20 to 30%. So not hearing and obviously not seeing. So I'd say my sense of taste is pretty good. I love lots of things that taste good. If you had a warning label, what would yours say? THC. It would be a giant THC triangle. What celebrity would you like to meet at Starbucks for a cup of coffee? I don't know. I think I would enjoy sitting down and having a cup of coffee with someone like Seth Rogen. Maybe someone like Jonah Hill. That guy seems like he has a lot to talk about. Michael Cera. That kind of crew. Those guys seem to be like real dudes. I'd love to talk to them. What 3 things do you think of the most each day? My family, marijuana, and my friends. That's pretty easy. A lot of my friends also fall in the family, so it's kind of a cop-out, but friends, family, and cannabis. Have you ever had a surprise party that was an actual surprise? No, I have not. Never. Who was your favorite teacher in school and why? Probably my 5th grade teacher. She was the last one who really took time and I feel like got down on my level and like tried to help me learn things and really opened my eyes to the love of books. So she did a really good job there. I'm still to this day loving books. Who was your first crush? That's easy. Jennifer Connell in Labyrinth. Super easy. Especially the part where she's dressed up in the goblin, makeup and dress. Definitely works. Are you related or distantly related to anyone famous? Not really. No, not that I know of. Do you collect anything? Hats. Collect hats. Games I'll never play. I collect those. I like collecting glass that you smoke weed through. Bongs, pipes, bubblers. Those things are awesome. I have a bunch of those. What was your favorite subject in school? English, music, and I really enjoyed history. What 3 items would you take with you on a deserted island? Satellite phone, a inflatable raft, fishing tackle. Is your glass half full or half empty? I would say half full. If I were an engineer, I would say the glass has been designed to the wrong specifications, because I feel like most times I'm pretty full. So, how old were you when you learned Santa wasn't real? How did you find out? Well, I was raised a religion called Jehovah's Witness, and we did not celebrate Christmas, and we knew from an early age that Santa was not real because of all the things they lied to us about, that was not one of them. What's your favorite movie? That's very hard to say because I have a lot of favorite movies. If I had to pick one, you're forcing me to pick one favorite movie, it might be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That one was very good. Do you love or hate roller coasters? I love roller coasters. I hate that I'm too fat to ride them anymore. It sucks. But I've also ruined my neck in an accident where we were rear-ended, and I can't ride them anyway. So sad. What is your favorite family recipe? My grandparents and my mother always made this southern dish where you fry up some bacons with some onions, and then you add crushed tomatoes and tomato sauce, and you put that gravy over grits. No one else really likes it. I love it. So, favorite fast food chain? It's a toss-up. I like the Whopper from Burger King, but I also like the spicy chicken from Wendy's, but I also like, a big fat burrito from Taco Bell. So depends on what I'm going for. But if I had to nail it down to one fast food chain, it would probably have to be Burger King. Sad to say. What kitchen appliance do you use every day? Probably the microwave. I would say the coffee maker, but it has been hot as balls here, and I hate hot coffee on hot days. So I've been using cold brew coffee, which I don't use the coffee maker for. So probably the microwave. How long does it take you to get ready? If I'm talking about stepping into the shower to walking out the door, 20 minutes. Maybe a little bit less. Sometimes a little bit more. Who would you want to play you in a movie of your life? Jack Black. That's easy. Are you a clean or messy person? I'm kind of in the middle. I'm cleaner than I am messy, but I'm not afraid to make a mess. I think making a mess is part of the creative process. Favorite type of foreign food? I love Japanese food. What was the last book you read? The one that we last finished was Stephen King's The Wasteland. We are starting Stephen King's Wizard and Glass, part of the Dark Tower series. We've been reading a lot of books this year, so good question. Reading a lot of books. What was the last thing you recorded on TV? Nothing. It's been so long I don't even know. What's the most daring thing you've ever done? Every day pushing that go live button. It's pretty fucking scary. What's your favorite holiday? That's easy. Halloween, because I like the scariness. It's also for here in Florida. It's the beginning of maybe it's going to get cooler out time. Kind of has a double thing there. How often do you buy clothes? When I need them. Work clothes every 3 to 6 months. Regular clothes maybe 6 months to a year. Sometimes longer than that even. Would you rather trade intelligence for looks or looks for intelligence? Well, I've got them both, so I'm not trading either. What's the tallest building you've been to the top in? That would have to be... Did we go to the Empire State Building? I think we did. That was a pretty tall building. What's the longest you've gone without sleep? Oh, I was pretty insomniacal. I had insomnia when I was in my 20s, and it was bad. Like sometimes 3 whole days, like 72 hours. I started hallucinating sometimes, just because, you know, insomnia. How many pillows do you sleep with? Oh, that's a good question. 1, 2, 3. 3 pillows. One of them is a body pillow, so it's pretty long. If you could share a meal with any 4 individuals, living or dead, who would they be? That'd be my cousins, both of which passed away, so 2. And then probably Danielle's grandpa, my wife's grandpa. He was an awesome man. And then I think I would love to meet Robin Williams in person. Well, in Ghost, I guess. If you go back to time and change one thing, what would it be? I don't know. I don't think I would mess with time. That's scary. What's your favorite zoo animal? I always like seeing the meerkats when we go to the zoo. Those guys are nuts. What form of public transportation do you prefer? Air, boat, train, bus, car, etc. I've been on bus and train. I've taken boats here and there. Airplanes were all right. I ride in cars every day. If I had to say my favorite one, like the most fun, was a train, just because I didn't have to do anything, and it felt relatively safe being on the ground like that. So, what would you do if you won the lottery? I'd pay off a lot of my debt for myself and my family. My friends would probably get a little bit of a benefit as well, but I think I would let my wife decide where to invest that, and let her kind of do her thing. She would love to be a philanthropist, helping people as much as she can. So I think we would probably form up some kind of philanthropy team and just like find ways to improve the people's lives around us, and people all over the country and all over the world if we could. It depends on what we want, I guess. If you were a superhero, what powers would you have? I would want to have some of the most basic ones, but the best ones. Like Wolverine's power of regeneration, or Superman's power of flight. And then maybe mix all that together with a little bit of like mind control. Regeneration, flight, and mind control. Those are the powers that I would want. How many pairs of shoes do I own? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if you count in flip-flops. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? 5 years, that would be 43. Hopefully I'm kicking ass at work. We've moved to the state that we're going to be staying in for a while. And my kids are both out and living their lives in the world, and they're both happy. That's what I see. 5 years. 2 pet peeves. I hate it when people are playing loud-ass music from outside of their phone in public. I also hate it when people come into my job at work talking to somebody else on the phone. So a lot of phone-based peeves here. Aside from necessities, what is one thing you could not go a day without? That would be THC. I am dependent on it for my stress and pain relief. So keeps me right, and I would be upset without it. What are your hobbies besides gaming and streaming? I play drums, and I am going to start raising rats again. I have a couple of them in mind. I'm going to raise some rats. But spending time with my kids. My daughter's a dancer, so we go to dance stuff. My son likes video games, so we end up doing that. We share that hobby together. How would your friends describe you? They wouldn't. If you could go back in time, what year would you travel to? Wow. I'm not sure I would go back in time. It scares me. If I couldn't mess it up, and I wanted to travel back in time, I'd love to go back to the 20s, the 1920s, 100 years ago, and just see what the U.S. was like then. It sounds both scary and interesting. If money was no object, what would you do all day? I would stream all day, easily, just make content. Who would you want to be stranded with who would you want to be stranded with on a deserted island? My wife would be great. We would make a good team. We would end up getting rescued. Would you rather win the lottery or work at the perfect job, and why? Win the lottery, because then, I wouldn't have to worry about, even if it is the perfect job, like staying at the same thing over and over and over again. If I win the lottery, I can do a bunch of different stuff. Would you rather vacation in Hawaii or Alaska? Alaska, it was beautiful last time we went. I would love to go again. Hawaii's neat and all, but those guys don't need it anymore. Tourists. Tourism is destroying that beautiful bunch of islands. Let's see. In the evening, would you rather play a game, visit a relative, watch a movie, or read? All those things actually kind of what my evenings are like. I generally start with a game or a movie. Maybe hang out with my family for a bit beforehand, but then in bedtime I'll roll over and grab a book before I go to sleep. Do you like or dislike surprises? I don't really like surprises, no. You ever had a nickname? My nickname online is the Sneak Thief. That's pretty much it. My favorite author, it's a toss-up between Stephen King and Chuck Palahniuk. I really like Stephen King's books, and Chuck Palahniuk is constantly challenging me to experience new things through his writing. So they both are favorite authors for different reasons. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? Pho. I could eat pho forever. If you could hire someone to help you, would it be with cleaning, cooking, or yard work? Cleaning is definitely one of the things we need help with. We have 2 kids, and my wife and I both work full time, so cooking and cleaning and all those things are super difficult. But cleaning would be the one that I would have the most help with. Which would you rather do? Wash dishes, mow the lawn, clean the bathroom, or vacuum the house? Which would you rather do? Mow the lawn. So there's a certain sense of accomplishment when you're done. You can grab a cold beer and just kind of stand there and look at it for 5 minutes and just enjoy it. Something about the aesthetic of cutting the grass is definitely pleasing for me. What 2 radio stations do you listen to in the car the most? If I'm on a radio station, it's going to be the local Tampa Bay alternative 97X, or it'll be talk radio 104.1 or an AM station. 89.3, I believe, for the jazz. What would you sing at karaoke night? Probably a gorilla song that I would be very bad at, but I would do it anyways. Would you rather ride a bike, ride a horse, or drive a car? Drive a car. It's much faster and more comfortable than all those other things. Favorite game or sport to watch? I loved watching basketball. I can't watch it now. Pretty much, I'm just not interested in sports much at all, but I used to play as well. If you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be? I think we went over this one. If I could choose to do anything for a day, it would be cook and play video games and stream them. What did you want to be when you were small? A scientist, actually. I always wanted to study stuff. Maybe like a research type thing. The last movie you went to, what did you think? We went and saw the Bob's Burgers movie. It was pretty good. The kids loved it, and it was mostly musical numbers, so it was even, it was enjoyable. What is your child's proudest accomplishment? My son has tons of wins in Fortnite, and he's super proud of those. And my daughter was accepted into a prestigious dance school, so she's very happy about that as well. What is your biggest complaint about your job? Oh gosh, don't watch this. People that work, biggest complaint about your job. I don't know. My biggest complaint about my job is not being prepared enough for each shift mentally to be ready for what's happening. Because we don't have heads up when it comes to the sales that they're going to be dumping on us. There you go. Favorite thing about your career? That I'm helping people. I know for certain that the medicine I'm selling works. I'm not some kind of snake oil guy where it's just about making a profit. I actually believe in the medicine, and I believe that it helps people. That's the best part. What really makes you angry? Injustice. inequality, indifference, and entitlement. What would you change about yourself if you could? I have a stutter that comes out every now and again, and it is embarrassing, and I can't help it, but if I could get rid of it altogether, I would. For sure. Biggest fear, there's a couple of them. I'm claustrophobic, so tight spaces. Open water. I'm afraid of open water. Used to be spiders, but I'm okay with those little guys now. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? For me, I really enjoyed a lot of the Canadian places that I've been. Vancouver was beautiful. A lot of British Columbia was great. We stayed in a place called Banff. It's like a national park, national forest up there. That was a beautiful little town. It was like a touristy town, of course, but just the landscape was just amazing. Visiting Seattle was great. Most of Washington was really nice, actually. Same with Portland. Oregon, the whole state was beautiful, but I really enjoyed the area around Portland. I also like anything with mountains or a lot of really good outdoor views. So if I could live anywhere, it would be somewhere where the view is beautiful. And that actually takes us to most of the questions that I thought we were going to get through. It's only been about half an hour, which is pretty good. I do stream on Twitch. I put a lot of my content on YouTube. I don't know how to, but I might use a TikTok at some point as well. Instagram. You guys can catch me live. There's tons of links in all the different places. Facebook, Twitter. You can always find me at @the_SNeAK. Hopefully I can get to know you guys as well. And, if you have any more questions, any more follow-up questions or anything like that, just hit it in the comments. And thanks for being part of the awesomeness today.